Welcome to the Carnage Hall. Dying Light 2's first major DLC has finally arrived. It includes a story, an arena, missions, new rewards, outfits, and a little bit more on top of that. Now, this video is going to be a first impressions only, and of course it's going to be spoiler free. So certain things that I may want to talk about or dive deeper into, I simply won't in this video. A more in-depth discussion and thought-provoking video will be saved for a proper review coming out most likely next week. Now friends, I'm just gonna go and rip the band-aid right off. This DLC, it's going to be met with a lot of mixed reactions. Some people are going to love it and some will hate it. I'm on the side of enjoying it for right now, but I can totally understand why someone will not enjoy something like this. Now to begin, I ran through the story in about 4 to 5 hours. Granted, that was me beamlining the main story. I think I did 1 to 2 side quests and that was it. If you do absolutely everything this has to offer, you'll easily get an extra 10 hours out of it. So I need to tell you one minor thing so that you can understand exactly how the tournament and the arena actually works. I'm going to keep it very, very minimal just to give you a general idea. So the Carnage Hall, it isn't really an arena. You can't just drop in and fight enemies until you are the last one standing. That's not currently in there like you think it would be. Instead, think of this arena as a section of the map to go and do fun activities. So instead of a basic arena formula, things that you may see nowadays in other video games, Tech One decided to switch it up a little bit, and I do applaud them for testing out this content and going for something unique and different. So what you have for this arena is you have a list of options. These options are missions and challenges. They're mostly challenges to say the least. And this is how you rank up, which is required for certain sections of the story. So you have a set of parkour, combat challenges, and boss battles that you can do in the arena. Of course, major plus, they are all replayable. Side issue though, the game doesn't tell you exactly how to go and replay them, but the option is there, trust me. It's kind of hidden, but it's definitely in the game. But now, what Buddy Ties will have you doing, so it's sort of like a mixture of story missions woven into you ranking up, which, like I said earlier, ranking up is doing these challenges. But the story on its own, it's not bad, it's not amazing either. It kind of plays out like a play, something Shakespeare in a way, which I do understand why it's written like that. Carnage Hall, it's a place for plays and spectacles, something magnificent to occur in front of you. So I do understand why they went down this path, and it mostly works. I definitely think the story in this DLC is better than the base game. The benefit of this story DLC is that it's separate, so creatively speaking, they can do whatever the hell they want. They aren't limited to what was set up in the base game. And it's going to put you on a little mini adventure. You'll meet new characters, learn more about them, and see how the story unfolds right in front of you. I do have 2 issues with the story. First one being, with some of these new characters, they try really hard to get you to like them. It's almost forced in a way. It kind of feels a little bit rushed when it comes to certain relationships in this DLC. It's almost like the first hour, 2 hours, it's kind of picking up the pace so that you can get into the Carnage Hall. And then on top of that, the dialogue kind of comes off as a little bit cheesy in the beginning. While the Dying Light series as a whole isn't known for its remarkable dialogue, there is definitely going to be parts where you're just going to roll your eyes because of what a character just said right in front of you. But like I said, it's mainly in the beginning of the game. It kind of mellows out. It gets better over time. The more you progress, the more time you spend into the Carnage Hall, that's where it gets better. It feels like the writing is simply just stronger once they have you in the place they actually want you to be at. So I would confidently say maybe like the middle to the end of the story DLC is pretty well written. It just starts out a little weak. It's kind of like the opposite of the base game of Dying Light 2. Started out strong and then it kind of went downhill afterwards. And to be straight up with you, the ride and the journey to get to the Carnage Hall, it's going to be cheesy, and some of the missions that you're going to be playing, they're just not as good as what's waiting for you on the other end. And I think the missions is actually where this big divide is going to happen amongst the community. A good portion of the missions are simply challenges. So if you aren't a fan of doing parkour challenges, combat challenges, this DLC may not be for you. But what I will say is that some of the challenges are unlike anything we have seen before. I almost want to recommend to you to kind of forget everything you know about the challenges in the base game and come into it with a fresh mind and a clean slate, because the challenges you're going to be playing in Bloody Ties are definitely 100 times better than what we previously had. Note, you do have to do challenges to get into the Carnage Hall. Those challenges are gonna feel familiar, but the challenges inside the Carnage Hall, the ones you're doing for ranking up, are certainly enjoyable, for me at least. I think the execution of the challenges are overall pretty well done. There are some challenges that are a ton of fun, they're entertaining, and then there's some others that are just frustrating, they're not enjoyable, but I think maybe like 90% of them I had a great time with. I think any challenge with the electric demolisher, I'd rather be waterboarded than replay that. I don't know how much replayability these challenges itself will provide. I need to spend a little bit more time with it. But I will say that there's this NPC right inside the Carnage Hall who has a mountain of content for you to enjoy. This NPC is basically rehauling the cosmetics as we know it. The amount of outfits, masks, blueprints, and mods he has is incredible, and you're definitely going to want to obtain every single one of them. So you're probably going to find yourself replaying some of your favorite challenges over and over in order to unlock some of these goodies. I do think there's a missed opportunity when it comes to some of these challenges. I think it would be perfect for them to add some modifier of sorts to make these challenges a little bit harder, and this is where things can start to get a little bit more crazier. The more modifiers you put on, the higher the rewards you get. Something similar to Halo Skulls could work pretty well here. I mean, for the past few months with Dying Light 2, they've been adding in events like Rampage, Bloody Summer, and putting some of these modifiers behind these challenges would be pretty beneficial. But to go ahead and shift topics, let's talk about co-op and bugs. When it comes to co-op, it's not balanced at all. You can load into a mission and just completely finish some of these challenges in like 15 seconds. There's one mission in particular where you'll get 18 tokens, and if you repeat that a couple of times, bam, you can purchase everything in the shop in a matter of 10 minutes. When it comes to bugs in this game, during my single player experience, I actually only experienced one. It did fix itself after some time, but that's what I had. Now, when it comes to the co-op, upon joining my friend, there was some major desync issues, but it did correct itself. We were able to also glitch in the grappling hook by turning on the expert key on the PC, and using the grappling hook in Bloody Ties is completely broken. That's why it's not normally in there in the first place. In co-op with the grappling hook, you will finish these missions quicker than my ex-wife filing for divorce. It changes the experience completely. And I mean, this video is being uploaded a day before its worldwide release, so I wouldn't be surprised if Techland hot patches that in as quickly as possible, because it is kind of game breaking. But to really sum up the DLC, it's okay. It's not revolutionary, it's not dog shit, it's just okay. And I think most community members will be excited to play through the story once and get a good 10 hours out of the game. And that's about it. There are some little hints and nods to Techland continuing to use the Bloody Ties arena for future content drops. There is one in particular that I know many of you would be excited for if it does make its way in. But to finish, I'm very content with what we got. There is room for improvement, there always is. But going into this DLC when it comes out for you tomorrow, just understand what you're getting yourself into and adjust accordingly. So with that said, I'll see you later. Bye bye.